I think stylistically, these are like the worst matchups that you could ask for because Pineda is going to punish you early. He's going to punish you bad. He's going to try to take away the legs of Elkins, but the damage does what the damage does, and he takes damage and he keeps on keeping on. So this is our one contentious pick. AJ, talk to me about the Daniel Pineda side. If he wins, it probably has to be early, right?
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I hesitate a little bit because he can get it done later in the rounds, but the more damage and the more of a crazy brawl fight you have with Darren Elkins, the more it's in his favor. So the quicker that Daniel Pineda can get the job done, that's going to be his best path to victory for this one. I mean, he has a solid ground game, solid all around, but you got to be worried about that mental fortitude that the damage has.
Shout out to the great Daniel Cormier, Darren Elkins. Brawl and sprinkle in some takedowns. That's the game plan, right? Like that's it. That's what Cormier says. That's all he needs to do, and that's all he does do. And if you look at his last fight, for an example, man, I thought it was really interesting because this dude, man, listen, you're fighting TJ Brown, downtown TJ Brown, who I'm super high on. I'm pretty sure he got cut from the UFC, but I'm telling you, that dude's good. But to be able to face his power and just perfectly time those double legs to blast in, get him down, awesome. My only worry is if you look at Daniel Pineda and you think that this dude's just going to stand up and try to knock you out, or if he gets taken down, it's a wrap. No. That's not how it happens. 5 finishes in the UFC, 1 knockout, 4 submissions. All right, AJ, plus 600 submission prop for Daniel Pineda. Talk to us.
Ooh, I think they're giving a lot of respect to Darren Elkins on this one, especially because of the way when fights hit the ground, right? He just has a kind of style that's hard to finish, right? The damage, especially if you get him cut, you get him in a brawl, this guy's going to bleed. And then it's even harder to actually submit him, get it going. I like this prop, though, for Daniel Pineda because he has multiple options and multiple ways to finish the fight. Like you said, Derek, 100% finish rate. It's hard to bet against him in a finish. It's just... you got the damage staring at you, brother. There's always that caveat.
Listen, man, the last time that we saw 2 old dudes go at it, right? The Court McGee and, man, I'm blanking. Who did he just fight?
Dirty Bird?
You know. The dirt. Yeah, it was, right? So it was the Dirty Bird, Tim Means, and Court McGee. And I'm like, these 2 old dudes, man, they're going to fight to a decision. This is what we see time and time again. Court McGee finishes him in the first round, chokes him, bro. So I'm like, sheesh. All right, well, that's not the bet to make. AJ, on this one, odds for a finish right here. Doesn't really matter from either camp. The odds are there. Who hits it, man? Who gets a finish out of this one? If that is the play.
If the finish, I'm rocking with Pineda on this one. Absolutely. He's the guy that's kind of power. So I thought you were going again, brother.
No, you're good. You did it straight away. Pineda. All right, fair play. Well, I like Darren Elkins here because I think he takes damage and he doesn't stop. And as long as he doesn't get flatlined, you have to turn him off to beat him, right? So as long as he doesn't get turned off, I think Darren Elkins can win this one. But more importantly, look at his odds, man. I just thought the props were really interesting. Plus 475 for a TKO and a submission, plus 350 for a decision. The reason I think that those are his odds there is because I think Daniel Pineda, don't get me wrong, man. If you look at him, he's how would you say, win or die, whatever the correct phrasing is, by the finish, right? I think sometimes, man, you get into that bad spot and you might just be like, all right, well, I'm going out on my shield this go around, and you just take the TKO, you take the submission, whatever, call it a day, fight again. So, of those 2, humor me for a second, man. Submission or a TKO for Darren Elkins if a finish happens?
Submission.
Interesting. This should be a fun one right here, man. Pineda opened up as minus 150. He's currently minus 105. Elkins now went from plus 125 open to minus 115 favorite. So I take it back. Before we were talking about Elkins being a dog play, you better go and cash in, folks. We've already been identifying the plays. Get it while you can. But then again, if you're tailing AJ, you're seeing immense value on Daniel Pineda here. So to lock it in, that's our contentious pick right there.